All right, Dora, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Mrs.
Good.
Dunn?
Very good. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you.
All right. So we chatted before this call, of course, and we kind
Yes.
of got some details and chatted about some things. So I wanted to get some additional details about your professional experience in the education system. So I want to start off talking about your project director position that
Okay.
you were in for quite some time.
Yes.
So can you talk to me about that a little bit and what you did there?
Oh, yes. Actually, that it was a federal grant. At the time, I was working through a program, a leadership development program, and we had to do a capstone project. And one of those were um, in to convene a team to write a proposal. And we did that. I did that. I convened the team, we wrote the proposal. But then after the administration looked at it, they thought, you did it, your job, but we think we want to submit this just to see whether or not it'll be awarded. And sure enough, the proposal was submitted to and awarded. And once we found that out, of course, I was surprised at the time. My AVP, she's no longer with us now, but she was very pleased because she had already submitted that particular proposal a couple of times and was not successful. So they were all excited. And so was I. And I was going to go on my merry way, continue to be the coordinator of the Student Support Services Program. And then I was called in and asked if I would be willing to implement the program. Well, of course, for me, I looked at it as a challenge. I'm not going to say it didn't go, whoa, but it was a challenge. And I thought, well, let's see what I could do. And sure enough, I was able to get started and implement that program. And so that is the kind of experience I have as far as dealing with people, because in this particular position I'm looking at, when you're working with families and advocating for families and assisting them and advocating for themselves and following through on what protocols they have to complete in order to continue to receive service or to initially begin to receive services or to find out whether or not they're eligible. I have a knack for that when it comes to people. I know how to work with people and to help them to do what needs to be done, because I don't meet a stranger, and I'm a helping professional, and that's just something I'm just natural at doing.
Sure. Definitely passionate about it.
So
Makes
yes,
kind of makes it easier if you're passionate about it. You're, of course, that's kind of almost like built in you, part of who
yes,
you are. So
yes.
definitely understand that. So that ended up being like $3.9 million, in grants, correct?
Oh yes, exactly. It went on, and then after a couple of cycles, then there was the west side of the county were saying, well, why do we not have this program? Why do we not have? So sure enough, we wrote a proposal for the west side of the program, Deltona,
Mhm.
and we were awarded that particular grant. And that grant we received funding for that grant for about 10 years. The East program, Daytona program, when we talk about populations, of course, all of them had to meet income. They had to be income eligible. We all know that. And they had to be potentially the first in their family to graduate from college. So in order for us to make sure that they were eligible, we had to review parents' income tax returns, any information that they would receive from the state. We're talking about that would give us proof of their income or any Social Security benefits. We had to go through all of that, and that goes back into the case management. I guess you're going to ask me a question about that, but and the only thing I want to bring about if I had to make the two distinctions about those programs, would be population. To give you an idea, the East program was about 85 to 90% African American. The West program was about 75 to 80% Hispanic.
Okay.
So that kind of gives you an idea of the kind of team that I had to convene on both sides in order to meet the needs of the parents and the students who were participants, because those students were referred to us from their schools. It's not like, I worked with the schools, but so I really didn't have a choice. We didn't have a say into who applied, because they went through the schools. The schools sat down and said, okay, these are the students that we think that will fit into your program. And
Okay.
these are the students that we are referring to you. And so with that, we had to work through all of that, and it worked for a long time. And then of course, you had right before 4 years before COVID, things started happening, and then funds started just drying up everywhere, and so we were not re-awarded. And so that is the reason why we went a long stint, but it was all federal funding.
Okay. So, I see that you did some coordinating work within like the DCF exam area.
Yes.
So you were proctoring exams?
As exactly when I was hired for the position, I was coordinating those exams. We had proctors, and then I was hired to work with ensuring that all the exams were proctored. And what ended up happening was we worked with I worked with the students, the persons who were proctoring. But yes, I myself ended up proctoring quite a few exams. However, my responsibilities began to shift, and then I ended up being one who basically went through the exam processing piece. So I ended up processing all of those exams, and that was a good experience. But to be honest with you, as you may be able to tell from just meeting me online, that wasn't an easy thing for me to do, just sit down with the machine all day.
Yeah.
Because I love people, I like to be out and about. But yes, that was so good, and I earned, I have so many CEU credits, because I went through all of the DCF courses doing that. And as a matter of fact, just this year, just being back in the school system, I've done quite a few DCF courses as well, just to make sure that I stay abreast of what's going on.
Awesome. Okay, perfect.